Tonight, our Chris Nelson takes an underwater look at coral reef building in Indonesia and investigates whether the technology could be used here in the Mariana Islands. Let's take a look.
Coral reefs are disappearing around the globe, and as they go, it puts added pressure on fish stocks, biodiversity, and shoreline protection. According to Dr. Thomas Garreau, who has studied the reefs here in Saipan, our reefs, with the exception of Lau Lau Bay, were decimated by a crown of thorns outbreak in the late 60s and remain in very poor shape.
Since very few people remember it before the 60s, there are very few people who realize what's been lost. And so everyone thinks these dead reefs are normal. They're not.
Here in Gili Trawangan, located just off the coast of Lombok in Indonesia, we are using Garreau's technology and techniques to erect bio rock structures and restore habitat. Today, we are reef builders. First, we jump in the water and collect broken corals off of the sea floor in these laundry baskets. This is the coral we will use to help seed a new artificial reef. Next, we re-enter the water and take our corals one piece at a time and attach them with wires and zip ties to these rebar frames. What happens next is the interesting part. By essentially plugging the structure into a power source, we create a low-level electrical field around it, and the energized coral grows much faster than normal, up to 5 times faster. With the new coral comes new habitat. Small juvenile fish find places to hide and thrive, and the small fish soon attract larger fish. The Bio Rock workshop attracts a wide range of people from all over the world, divers and artists to designers and developers. Former Saipan resident Scott Countryman plans to use the technology in a marine protected area in the Philippines.
Well, at first I thought it was a gimmick. It just seemed like most of the stuff I saw was just sort of these small scale, the size of a hot tub or something like that flipped upside down. And I went up to Pemutaran in northern Bali and saw the reefs that had been there for 8 or 10 years. And there was a couple examples of something that's maybe the size of a small swimming pool turned upside down, like a dome-like structure with just completely gorgeous encrusted corals all around and big fish underneath and schools of fish on top. And I see that and I say, somebody should do something the size of 2 or 3 football fields. And with something on that scale, the visual impact and the biodiversity and the interaction between all those species on a larger reef area, I think would be really dramatic.
Could the technology work here in the Mariana Islands? Garreau says yes.
You have all these tourists coming to Saipan, all these tourists splashing in the water, and what do they see? They see dead rocks with no fish, for the most part. There's hardly anything for them to see. Well, that's not necessary. It's a place where we could easily, using Bio Rock technology, grow reefs that would have lots of corals, have lots of fish, be an ecotourism attraction, protect the beaches from washing away at the same time, and restore the fisheries.
I would say someplace within the Saipan Lagoon where you're getting protection from the majority of the wave action, maybe out by Managaha, where there's a tourist angle there. But I don't see any reason why you couldn't do, like I said, something the size of a football field with a variety of gorgeous underwater structures.
As you can see from these pictures, the technology does seem to work. The energized systems grow faster, larger, and stronger. And here in Gili, it's easy to see the difference in the structures that have been plugged in for the last year. Garreau thinks that beachfront resorts may one day soon be interested in customized coral reefs that can be planned, plugged, mapped, and enjoyed, and thinks that eventually wave action converted to electricity could power the Bio Rock and help Mother Nature along.
Without habitat restoration, they're never going to have fish, and it could easily be done there.
There's just no way that the reefs are going to come back on their own, so they need this boost.
In Indonesia, Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.